Good morning. I'm just going to take my turn here before I start. I just wanted to hit the video while I was stopped at the red light, but all right, now I'm on my way. Welcome and thank you for being here. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. Please share my channel. Please comment whether you agree with me or not. And today, gosh, I really don't want to talk about this. I don't want to go on and on about this, but it's not anything that I saw in the comments here that sparked my wanting to continue this conversation. It's really what I've been seeing in comments and in conversations and in general attitudes of, a lot of people out there. And I want to reiterate this because this is so important in this climate that we're in right now. It's so important that I share this. My journey is a spiritual journey. My channel is about being enlightened or being, awakened, I guess, to the truths of the Bible, to the truth that Jesus spoke, being awakened to the spiritual aspect of the beings that we are, being awakened to the fact that this world and the worldly things and the physical things in life are not what matter the most. Yes, we do live in this world, but we are not of this world. Please take pause and really think about that and think about what it means. We are in this world, but we are not of this world. We are supernatural, otherworldly beings. It's not a secret. It's not a biblical secret. It's not a secret of the universe. It's not a secret at all that we are supernatural, otherworldly beings living in an experience that is temporary. And that is what my channel is about. My whole channel is about that. Exploring that, understanding what it means, understanding who and what we are, understanding the connection of all of us being one, which we are. We are all one. We are all one. One light, one being. We are one. So, I'm going to say this one more time, and then this is going to be the end of this subject. In the realm of the world, we have two things going on. We have the supernatural beings that we are, and then we have the world that we live in. In the realm of the world, we have governments. In the realm of the world, we have a society where we have to set up societal rules. We have a society where we have to have order. There has to be law and order in this temporary experience. Otherwise, people would run amok and there would be chaos. If anybody were allowed to do anything they wanted without consequence, there would be no order. Everything would just be chaos. So in order to avoid chaos in this experience, we set up worldly governments. Now, those worldly governments take place in different forms all over the world. Some governments are kingdoms, some governments are democracies, some governments are communist, some governments are socialist, some governments are, we have all these different setups for all these different types of governments. And the world does not have one type of government. The United States was formed more than 200 years ago under a government that we call a democracy. A democracy is where it's a government of the people, and the people are given the power to vote for candidates who will lead and who will be placed in positions of authority and positions of creating laws and positions of advocating for the people. Now, hopefully the people vote for someone who's going to advocate for the people. That's the idea. In America, this changed. This changed and shifted. It went from a democracy where the people vote in the most qualified candidate in a free and fair election, and then they accept the outcome, and then that candidate does their best to do the best for the people. That's how it used to be. That's how it was designed to be. Government, people who are voted into the government are public servants. They're voted in because they're supposed to serve the people. And that's how it used to be. What happened in America can be defined in one word, and one word only. Greed. America is a capitalistic society where people can come here and start their own business and make their own money and be their own person, do their own thing, create a company. They can run multiple companies. They can do whatever they want here as far as business is concerned within the boundaries of the law. Can't break the law, but they can come here and start a business. Anyone can. And that is the idea of capitalism. And capitalism in its purest form and the way it's supposed to work, works. And if democracy were in its purest form and capitalism were in its purest form, we'd all be happy, wouldn't we? But we're not. We're not all happy. Because capitalism is not in its purest form and democracy is not in its purest form right now. We went downhill, and we went downhill because of greed. Now, am I going to point fingers? Am I going to start pointing fingers and say who is greedy and who caused the whole thing? I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not going to try to pinpoint who the greedy people are that brought us down. It's pointless to point fingers at the greed. It really is. I mean, what does it do? It's not like they're going to go to greed jail. It's not like we're going to find out who everybody is. I mean, we know who some of the greedy people are. It's pretty obvious who some of the greedy people are. But we don't know who all of them are. And even if we did, what are we going to do? Create a greed jail? Arrest them all for being greedy? Take their money? Be Robin Hood? Throw them in greed jail and distribute their money evenly amongst the people? I mean, no. We're not going to do that. There are people who want us to do that. But that's not what's going to happen. That's not what should happen. And there are also people who are accusing one party or another. In a democracy, you have parties. We have the Democratic Party, we have the Republican Party. We have people who are accusing, well, this party is the greedy one, and that party is the good one. These are the good guys, those are the bad guys. These are the people who want to destroy America. Those are the people who want to, want to work for the people. We separate down the line, red and blue. And then we want to demonize one whole entire color and create an angelic halo around the other color. And normally, whenever people do that, the color that they choose to put the angelic halo on is the color who is advocating for the things they want. Because not everybody wants the same thing. Some people want to live humbly with just a little and just have peace and quiet and not want to have to do much and just live a life of ease. They don't have to have a lot of money or fancy things. They just want their life to be comfortable and safe. Other people want to have the ability to earn as much as they can, to become multimillionaires. Some people want to have the ability to grow and grow and grow and to buy more and more things and to have boats and a beautiful mansion and more than one house and to own real estate. And some people have those ambitions, and that's what they want to do. And then you have everything in between. So where it comes to democracy, to Democrats and Republicans, the reason that they're so polarized is because different people want different things. Different people want different things socially. Different people want different things economically. I think that everybody can agree that they would like prices to be low, and everybody could agree that they like, that they like to have some ease of life and they want to be able to afford things. However, not everybody wants to do those things in the same way, and not everybody agrees on how things should be paid for. Not everybody agrees that, that economics work in a way that we can all have free stuff or really cheap stuff, and that the country will still thrive. Not everybody agrees on economics and how it should take place. So we don't even agree on what we want. And then beyond that, even if we did agree on what we want, we don't agree on how the right way to get it is. So that's the trouble with America. The trouble with America is that we have so many different types of people wanting such a variety of different things. And then it becomes basically a war because the things are so different. Say, for instance, you have 20 people who just want to live in a very small two bedroom, 2-bath house in a nice little walkable community, not have to drive a car, be able to take an Uber when they want to go somewhere, take public transportation. They just want a nice small paycheck, just enough to get by. They want to be able to go out to the coffee shop and visit their friends. They want to have work-life balance. They want to work 3 days a week and have 4 days off and a month of vacation every year and have time to be with their family. That's all they want. Then you have 20 other people who want the polar opposite. They want to own everything. They want, like I said, boats and cars. They want to own a helicopter. They want to be able to fly in their own private airplane. They want to own 3 mansions, and they want to live on the beach in 3 different states. They want to travel the world, and they want to have wealth, and that's what they want. So if the people who want the wealth vote their government into office, they'll create an environment where a lot of people can have a lot of wealth. And those people that want to be comfortable oftentimes feel like, well, wait a minute, where's my opportunity to just have a comfortable life? Like, all these people want to be wealthy, and they're creating all these laws to make more and more and more and more wealth. And now everything is out of kilter here. Everything's off kilter. I'm not able to live comfortably. Now I have to work 16 hours a day. I didn't want to work 16 hours a day. I don't want to work. I don't want to earn $10 an hour. I don't want to have to live in a 2-bedroom apartment with 3 other families. On the other side of that, say that those people that want less get into office and they create a utopia for themselves where they don't have much, and then everybody that wanted to get wealthy is like, wait a minute, I had a dream to have a boat. I can't even get a boat now? I wanted a mansion on the beach, and I live in a suburb inland in Indiana. I didn't want that. And so now they're upset because the people who wanted an easy life have turned the whole world or the whole country into a place where they can't get all these mansions and things that they wanted. So if you have these 2 parties playing tug of war over what they want, and each one of them is saying, you're wrong, you're wrong. They're not wrong. They just want something different. And then they fight. So, the common ground, and this is just common sense, but the common ground is what our government calls, when they come together, they're supposed to be bipartisan. They're supposed to not take sides. They're supposed to try to get a little of something for everybody. Now, you can't please everybody. You can't please everyone all the time. That's a saying. That's a valid saying. You cannot please everyone all the time. So the government's job is to come together and to try to make life as good for as many people as they can with what they have. But our government doesn't do that. Instead, our government takes bribes. And I'll call them bribes because they're lobbyists. These big corporations come in and they pay our government to create what they want. And that's where we get into trouble. That's where we get into trouble when people who have money, it doesn't matter which side they're on, they both do it. The Democrats do it and the Republicans do it, and everyone in between, they all do it. If they have money, they're going to pay the government to get their way. And that's where our democracy is, I don't want to say failing, but that's where we're getting into these big party wars. It's not because we all hate each other. It's not because we're not like-minded. It's not because we can't come together in love, which is what my whole channel is about, coming together in love. We can still come together in love. We just have to be bipartisan about it. We have to stop fighting against red and blue. We have to stop taking our spirituality and incorporating it into our governments. It doesn't belong. Separation of church and state. Pull it apart. Because where we live is up here. We are not of this world. So we need to stop worrying about, fighting for, and being so completely passionate about fighting against the other color, red or blue. And we need to start rising up into the realms that Jesus told us to rise up into and just loving everybody. The more we love everybody, the more the governments will start to fix themselves. I can promise you that if everyone just loved everyone else, we wouldn't have these troubles. If we all could just love one another, we wouldn't have all this going on. These things are going on, and I said because of greed. But where does the strife start? You know, greed is something that's like a little fly in the ointment. Greed is something that's dropped into this world to see how we all do, you know? Come on, all you ants on the ant farm. You're all spiritual beings. We're going to put you here on the ant farm, see how you do. So how are you going to do when somebody takes something away from you? How are you going to act? Are you going to act like a child and have a tantrum? When I was in daycare, a little girl came along and tried to take my toy. It was a truck. I was playing with a little plastic truck, and a little girl came along and tried to take my truck. And, you know, we're 3-year-old, 4-year-olds, or 3 or something, you know, we're like, mine, it's mine. And they had to separate us because that's what children do. That's what children do. But adults, when we realize that we're spiritual beings and that we're in a higher realm, somebody comes along and tries to take our truck that we're playing with, we say, oh, go ahead, have fun. I'll find another toy to play with. I'm good. It's like Jesus said, you know, somebody takes your cloak, give them your shirt. Don't worry about it. And the reason is because that truck doesn't matter. That truck is a material thing. When somebody tries to take something from you here in the ant farm, they're not taking anything from you at all. The only thing they can take from you is your spirituality. And that only happens when you have a bad attitude. They can't take your spirituality. You are the one who controls that. You either have a good attitude towards life or you have a bad attitude towards life. And when you have a good attitude, doesn't matter what's taken from you here in the ant farm. You just give it. And you're like, whatever, I'll get something else. That's fine. If you come into it with a loving heart, and a lot of people say, well, people are being hurt. I have to protect people from being hurt. No, you don't. You have to love people. Love one another. It's not your job to be the protective police. You're not the God police. You know, just love one another. Do your part and love one another. That's it. That's all we have to do. If each and every one of us could just love one another, we would be in those higher realms, and the things that are going on in the ant farm would be a whole lot better, because when we love one another, we manipulate, and I don't want to use the word control, but we form and shape what's going on in this world by how we love. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm kind of talking fast right now. I need to get into the office. But anyway, that's all I'm going to share about that. I'm just going to say that get off politics, get off red and blue, get off Democrat, Republican, get off the issues, get off who's fair and who's not fair, who's just and who's unjust, who wants to do harm and who wants to do right. Get off it. Get off it. Get off it. Get off it. Get up in the higher realms and love one another. That's it. Just get up in the higher realms and love one another. Hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.